Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to be speaking about Jaron Ennis Sparring Demetrius Andrade to get ready for his fight with Xander Zayas, which is coming up on June 27th. We're going to be speaking about the Devin Haney, Keyshawn Davis, and Shakur Stevenson situation. Then, of course, we're going to have some open boxing topics on the way as well. But before we get into all of that, if y'all could please hit the like button on the way in, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,500 mark, looking to crack that 3,600 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. Big shout out to everybody that's been wishing my son Micah a very happy birthday. It is very much appreciated. Shout out to everybody that came through and showed love on the registry and got my son a gift. You know what I mean? The birthday wishes, the positivity, the blessings. It is all very much noticed and appreciated. It's loved very much so. So, much love to y'all. My son had a very good day today. I was going to go all out and have some fun with him today, but I decided to just push that over to tomorrow. Looked like he had a lot of fun over on his mother's side. Completely sunburnt. You already know my son has a very light complexion. So, upon receiving him, his face was just like completely red. I'm like, oh man, I know that boy had some fun. They probably took him to like some pool or something like that, or the beach maybe. I'm not too sure. But regardless, looked like he had a hell of a time. He seemed pretty tired when I got him. So I was like, you know what? Let me just bring him over to the fam's house. They had baked a nice little birthday cake for him. He ate a shit ton of cake. He blew the candle out. It was just a great time, and he received a lot of gifts from my family, man. They showed him a whole lot of love, man. It was a beautiful thing. So very blessed. My son is healthy. My son is getting bigger, stronger, smarter every day. I'm doing well health-wise too. I'm finally getting back on the positive route, so that's a beautiful thing as well. So I really have no complaints. And even if I did have a complaint, I definitely wouldn't be sharing it right now. It's too much positive shit going on. You feel what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody that's in the comments. The only bad thing that's fucking with me right now is my sinuses. I don't know what it is. My allergies be cool until nighttime, and then it fucks with me. Can't really call it. I clean this house regularly. This house is damn near spotless half of the time. So I don't really know what's going on, but we're going to figure it out. Zah, what up, Zah? Sean Terrence in the building. What up? Chris Maldonado. What's going on, brothers and sisters? What's going on? My pop is in the building. Shout out to my pop, Lando, man. Love you, man. You know what I'm saying? Put the birthday cakes up for the boy Micah. Absolutely. Today was a beautiful day. June is just a beautiful month, period, man. Because my father's birthday is at the beginning of the month. Then you got one of my close friends / fighters, Derek. His birthday is immediately after the fact. You know what I mean? Then you got there's a few people, to be honest, that I fuck with whose birthday falls on June. But then of course you have my son. So it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Shay, what up? Thank you for the happy birthday wishes, man. Coffee Plan, what up? I ain't see you in a while, brother. How you holding up? Hope everything is well. I see Boots and them getting some world-class work in, man. You don't really see that too often. Unless you're a part of a brotherhood with Shakur Stevenson and them. It's very rare when you come across two champions sparring each other to get ready for upcoming bouts. You know what I'm saying? Demetrius Andrade is making his comeback, I believe, in July. Up near where he lives, coming off of a damn near 3-year layoff. Going straight into the smoke, working with Jaron Ennis, and Jaron Ennis has a fight coming up in 15 days. I'm gonna be out in New York with my pop, man. So if y'all want to come through, you know what I mean? Y'all want to when y'all come through and see us, man. You know what I mean? Speak. You see what I'm saying? Speak, show love, man. You know what I mean? We approachable people. As long as you ain't on no bullshit, you know what I mean? We cool. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? I'm very excited for that. Everything's good, man. Everything's good. But I just wanted to share this picture real quick. Shout out to the boy Justin Jackson in the building. What up? What's going on? But this is the picture that I seen. You've seen the thumbnail as well. You got Bozy Ennis to the left. You got Demetrius Andrade. You got Boots Ennis. I'm not familiar with who this brother is, so if anybody knows who he is, And I'm assuming the last guy over to the right is a coach. I'm not familiar with him either. So if anybody could correct me and let me know who these guys are so I could put some respect on their name, that'd be very much appreciated. But you see the clock that's behind them. See the clock that's behind them. They just wrapped up some work. So I'm assuming these guys did 12 rounds. And it pretty much lines up with Jaron Ennis' latest story. He said that he did 12 rounds with two different people. There's two different people that happens to be in the ring with him. So I'm assuming Demetrius Andrade did 6 4-minute rounds, which comes out to 24 minutes, which in reality is 8 rounds. If we're talking regular boxing timing. And, you know, the other brother right here did 6 rounds as well. And, you know, I was definitely intrigued because if anybody who, you know, knows me personally knows that coming up, Demetrius Andrade, when I was a young boy, he was one of my favorite fighters. I absolutely love Demetrius Andrade on the come up, man. Unfortunately, I felt like he underachieved in his career. You know what I mean? The politics of boxing. I feel like every worst case scenario happened to Demetrius Andrade, to be honest with you. Inactivity, you know, politics, you know, fighters not really wanting to fight him, you know, bad management, you know, terrible promotional deals. Like whatever the case is with Demetrius Andrade, man, I think he's fell victim to basically everything you can fall victim to in boxing. And you know, he was a three-time, I believe. He had 2 titles at 154 separately, and then when he went to 160, he ended up grabbing the WBO. So three world titles, 2 different divisions. You know what I mean? That's not a terrible career, but he obviously had a lot more left on the table for him to possibly obtain, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to do so. You know, it is what it is. But he's coming back. He's looking to get back into the mix, and he came down from Rhode Island to spar Jaron Ennis. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I went and did some research because I was very intrigued to see how the work went. A Singh says, "How the fuck Boots and Boo Boo the same size?" Well, Boo Boo looks a little taller than him, so Boots has to be like 5'10". Demetrius Andrade is probably 6 foot. But we got to understand that Demetrius Andrade started at 154 pounds, and he was never the biggest guy whatsoever. He was tall, rangy at 154, but as you go up in weight, you know, Demetrius Andrade wasn't somebody who just filled into these weight classes effortlessly. To be honest with you, I feel like 168 is a little bit too much for Andrade. But once you get in them, you know, them late stages of your career, you know, 38, 40, you know, around there, you get, you know, it's more about being comfortable. You know what I mean? And not really doing too much damage to your body. You know what I mean? Because being up there in age like that and fucking with your body like that, it could, you know, do some irreversible damage to you. You feel what I'm saying? But overall, that's some great work, man. Demetrius Andrade is a slick, sneaky, southpaw, unpredictable. I guess you could say awkward, unorthodox with some good power, good hand speed, good combinations. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he's clicking on all cylinders. Had to do some research, had to call my people to see exactly how this work went. I ain't really going to divulge too much, but what I am going to say is that Boots is ready. Boots is ready. You know, they saying that he's, you know, firing on all cylinders. You know, we are nearing the end of camp. So, you know, of course, you know, as you start to, you know, get down into, you know, the when you start getting into the lighter weights, you know what I'm saying? When you have to start cutting, of course, you're going to have some sort of deficiencies. You're going to start to feel the effects of strength training and shit like that. So, you know what I mean? You know, it's just smooth sailing from here. All the hard work is done from what I understand with Boots. And he's ready to fight, man. So, look, this was a great way. I'm sure he probably has another week's worth of sparring. But he probably will be wrapping up sparring middle or end of next week, to be honest with you. But regardless, he's exactly where he needs to be, from what I understand. He's responding really well in training. He looks strong. He looks sharp. He looks explosive. He looks fast. Mind is, you know, his mind is up to par with his physical abilities. So, you know, he's looking phenomenal. That's what I'm hearing from the people that happens to be around him. Like I said, I'll be over there this upcoming Wednesday to help out Andy Cruz to get ready for Albert Bell. I'm very excited for that. And I guess from there, I'll be able to get a little glimpse of what's going on with Jaron Ennis as well. So of course I ain't gonna spill the beans or reveal too much. You know what I mean? That's a bit compromising, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna be visiting people's gyms and go ahead and just divulge everybody's information. That's some weirdo stuff. You know what I mean? We don't do that. That's poor boxing etiquette. But regardless, very good to see Demetrius Andrade active. From what I understand, Demetrius Andrade actually wants to do a camp in Philadelphia. If that's the case, I would love to meet Demetrius Andrade. Like I said, he was a fighter that I loved to watch. He was very entertaining. He was somebody that I studied. Although I was an orthodox and he was a southpaw, there's this misconception that because somebody fights from a different stance than you, that you're incapable of learning from them. That's not the truth at all. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely some things you can learn. And, I was rooting for Demetrius Andrade throughout his entire career. Still rooting for him to this day, man. I hope he really finds, closure in his career, and he gets what he wants out of the sport before it's all said and done. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Boo Boo, shout out to Jaron Ennis, shout out to Bozy, shout out to the two other folks over here who have contributed to the sparring. You know what I'm saying? Look like they putting in some good work. They wrapping up camp basically, and I'm hearing some good things. I'm hearing some good things from over at Xander Zayas camp as well. So I think we in for a hell of a showcase, man, for a great display of boxing from both guys. And I'm rooting for Jaron Ennis to go ahead and bring them belts back home to Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building. My boy Gohan said, cool, Andre getting back in the ring. Yeah, I mean, it's about time. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't fought since getting stopped by David Benavidez. Thought that fight was a little bit too much for Andre, to be honest with you. But, it might have just been, and I'm not going to say that he was desperate, but he might have did this out of desperation at the same time. Demetrius Andrade has been somebody who's been looking to be a part of these big fights and get big names on his resume. And he wasn't capable of doing so at 154. Chasing Canelo Alvarez around, trying to get these Charlo fights, didn't really seem to come together for whatever reason. At 160, he was chasing the Triple G's and stuff like that. He wasn't able to get that fight. He was also looking for the Canelo Alvarez fight too, couldn't really get it. Went up to 168. After becoming champion in both of the previous divisions. He fought Damon Nicholson, which was a tough fight in my opinion. He beat Damon, but he definitely felt the difference in size and power. And then he just went straight into the David Benavidez fight, somebody who was huge for the weight. So I just think that he was outmatched in terms of size and, being inexperienced or unacclimated to the division. You feel what I'm saying? So that's Demetrius Andrade for you. It's good to see him back in the mix. And, I think he's going to have like a 10-round bout coming up. So that just lets me know that he's going to be fighting somebody with some sort of experience. And he's looking to get himself back, in the mix with these guys at 168. Man, look, there's still some big fights that could be made for Demetrius Andrade. You got these guys that's on their way out as well, like Jamal Charlo. If you're able to get a fight with him at 168, that'd be beautiful. You still, I don't know what's up with Caleb Plant, but he's been a little quiet. But if you could go ahead and get a fight with him, that'd be interesting as well. You know what I mean? Just some notable names. Even if there's no belt on the line, I want to see Demetrius Andrade fight somebody that's actually more to his level, or somebody who doesn't have like an overwhelming advantage against him. I think that him versus Jamal Charlo would be an ideal fight. You know what I mean? They have a history. They don't like each other. You know what I mean? They both talk trash. You know what I'm saying? And they both still got something left in the tank. So why not? You feel what I'm saying? But regardless, it's good to see Demetrius Andrade back in the mix. My boy Zai in the building. He said top rank effect finna show Zayas finna get exposed for being a bum. Well, I'm not gonna call Zayas a bum. He got some good abilities. He got some skills. And let's say he gets dog walked by Boots. I'm still not gonna go out of my way to equate him to a bum. Like I said, I'm not gonna be somebody on here that's gonna be criticizing Xander Zayas, because at the end of the day, he didn't have to fight the motherfucker. He didn't have to fight Boots. He chose to fight Boots. And, as a result of that, you know what I'm saying, boxing fans are really happy with Xander for doing so. And, regardless of how the way the fight goes, whether he wins, he loses, there's a draw, whatever the case is, and no contest, who fucking knows? We got to put some respect on Xander's name for getting the fight done. You know what I'm saying? My boy is singing the builder said, Mark, based on what you heard, do you think it'll be an early night for Xander or a late stoppage? I think it's dependent upon how Xander approaches the fight. I think that if Xander is, overly mobile, it might take a little bit to get to him. You know what I mean? If he's unwilling to commit, you know what I mean, it might take some time to get it might take a little bit more time to break him down. But if he's like his usual self where, he's punching in combinations and, turning and still being within reach to get some shots off, I could just see Boots, with his accuracy, with his punch, punch placement accuracy is the same thing. You know what I mean? With his his counters, his pinpoint accuracy, I could really see him having an effect on Xander Zayas early. It's going to be interesting to see what type of approach Boots has. Is Boots going to be aggressive? Is he going to be on the back foot? Because I've noticed something very, very I want to see how I should say this. There's a big flaw with Xander when he does a certain thing, and I wonder if Boots seen it, because if Boots see this, he can make this fight a lot easier than what it should be. I mean, he can make it a lot easier than what people think. I'm going to just say that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see. I'll talk to Boots. If I get the chance to talk to Boots, I'll talk to him. Because the last time I spoke to Boots was for the Luis Malima fight. You know what I mean? I brought an amateur over to spar Boots, some tall southpaw work. And I told him, I was like, we was going back and forth. He was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah. I watched him. He was telling me what he thought about Bull. He was keeping it short, though. He was like, I was like, so what you see? He was like, he said, I'm going to stop him. He said, I'm going to stop him with an uppercut or a body shot. I was like, what? So I was watching him. I was watching Lima a little bit more. I'm seeing the off-balance approach, falling in with shots. And I was like, okay, I see what he's talking about. But I think he said the exact round and all. That was the crazy part. He said, I think I'm going to stop. He said stop him early. He didn't say an exact round. But regardless, it was crazy how he said the uppercut, and the uppercut is exactly what got through and rocked Lima. And that was just the end after that. Tell Boots what you see. I feel like that's see, my thing is I'm a coach, right? So unless somebody asks me what I see, I really hesitate to say what I feel about something. I feel like if they're not asking for it, there's no need to provide that opinion. Boots has a great team behind them. He knows, they know things. They're a lot more experienced than I am. You know what I mean? Bowlesy been coaching since I wasn't even thought of, since my dad was a young boy. You feel me? So, I'm sure that they see things that I've seen, and they're gonna prepare properly and do what they can to get the win. I just don't like, if he asks me like what you see, then of course I'm gonna provide my opinion. But otherwise, I really feel like there's no need for me to even do that. I feel like that's stepping on people's toes. I think that's a bit excessive. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be the one to do that. I don't really like when people try to give my fighters advice on shit when they don't have any experience, or the advice is just totally wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that I will be wrong, but regardless, you know what I mean? If it's not asked for it, then there's no need to give it. That's just me. Could you tell us what the flaw is? Well, fuck it. I'm going to say it, right? Because Xander, when you're looking at his style, when you're looking at Xander Zayas' style, his defense for the most part is his offense and his footwork, right? Xander, especially in his latest fights, he'll get his combinations off, and then pivot around. Boom, 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 pivot around. Give you some side-to-side movement, get off a combination, pivot out. So he's constantly, giving you different angles. And when you're constantly giving an opponent different angles, you keep them resetting their feet. As long as they're resetting their feet, it's going to be really hard for them to hit you, right? But I noticed that Xander does that repetitively when somebody's on the front foot. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I noticed is when Xander goes forward, he rarely uses his angles. You know what I'm saying? He actually, from what I've been watching, and he may change this, I don't know, But what I notice is when he's the aggressor and when he's on the front foot, he's not really, pivoting around all like that. He's not really providing different angles. You know what I'm saying? He's actually he brings his hands back. You know what I'm saying? But he's not as defensively responsible when he's on the front foot in comparison to when he's on the back foot. So that's what I noticed. So if Boots was to take this approach where he's on the back foot, he's letting Xander be the aggressor, I could see Boots successfully counterpunching him and breaking Xander down. That's how I could see that shit happening. I feel like that'll be the easiest approach based off of the film that I've been watching. But like I said, maybe Xander has fixed those things in camp. I would hope so. Especially when you in there with as sharp of a puncher as Jaron Ennis, you definitely don't want to give him any moments to capitalize off of your defensive flaws. You feel what I'm saying? So when I'm watching Xander, he keeps his hands up high. You know what I mean? If somebody throws one shot, he'll slip over. Boom, 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 boom. It's like Xander, and I see somebody write that in the comments. Jay said he's too textbook. Yeah, and being textbook could help you in a lot of situations. But when you're at a high level and you don't have a bag of tricks outside of being textbook, it makes you pretty easy to figure out. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that I noticed. Like Xander, because he's textbook, he's gonna outskill a lot of people because a lot of people don't really got the fundamentals down pat. They could possibly get outboxed. But when you're in there with somebody like Jaron Ennis, who is well schooled, very experienced, and has a shit ton of capabilities in the ring, one of the most well-rounded fighters in the world. And not only that, Boots is also capable of making adjustments on the fly. Being by the book could help you with certain guys, but with somebody like Boots, it could hurt you. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you don't got nothing else, because with Boots, you gotta be unpredictable. When you're in there with somebody who's a sharp counterpuncher like Boots, you have to have this level of unpredictability about yourself. If you're just if you're just being textbook with your punches, that shit's gonna be easy to figure out. Boots gonna see the shots. He's gonna be like, all right, this is the combination that he's going towards. Boom. Boom. He's going to come off with certain shots in between Xander's. And we seen Xander hurt before. We seen Slava Spalmer have Xander rocked. And, much credit to Xander Zayas because his conditioning was great enough where he was able to recover like this. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta give Xander credit for being in some type of shape where, if he gets rocked momentarily, he bounces right back. You see what I'm saying? That just lets you know how hard that kid works. But I love the textbook approach. So some of my favorite fighters of all time were by the book. Mikey Garcia was a textbook boxer. Fundamentals by the book. Everything by the fucking book. So I could appreciate that with Xander. Xander got a little bit of athleticism. You know what I'm saying? He good with the angles. You know what I'm saying? He got strong. He got good legs, so he can move from side to side. And Xander got some solid conditioning too, because I seen this man buckle down in them championship rounds and put that work in. With a Bass Barao and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So Silent Gloom Secret says, was Boots sparring Andrade? Yes, he did 6 rounds with Demetrius Andrade. He did 6 rounds with Demetrius Andrade and 6 rounds with the other gentleman, from what I understand. Like I said, if anybody knows the coach's name and happens to know the other fighter's name, please let me know, man. I don't want to be disrespectful. Fast Life said, happy birthday to the young Micah. I appreciate that very much. His name is spelled M-I-C-A-H, but regardless, I know what you're saying. So thank you very much for showing love. A Singh says, but the thing is, Mark, Xander got gas tank issues. Well, he may show fatigue in fights, but I'm not going to associate that with having gas tank issues. When I think of gas tank issues, I'm thinking of guys like Tony Harrison, who just completely fall apart in those late rounds. I'm thinking of Caleb Plant, who falls apart in the late rounds. That's what I think of. I see Xander, a little bit fatigued and all that, because it does take a lot of energy to have Xander's style. It takes a lot of energy to have that style, to be bouncing on your toes, and then and Xander rarely throws one punch. So he'll go, You know what I'm saying? He'll go boom, 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 turn. Boom, 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 turn. Boom, 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 turn. So it's a lot of energy involved. It's a lot of work behind that style. I see him like, resting a little bit, but I don't see Xander fall apart. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna say that he has gas tank issues. Like I said, when I think of gas tank issues, I'm thinking of guys like Caleb Plant. I even think Canelo has some gas tank issues. In some of the fights that he's had in the past. You know what I mean? That was a criticism of Miguel Cotto early on in his career. That, you know what I'm saying? After 6 rounds, he had gas and shit like that. That's just, some people just have that problem. They said Zab Judah was a 4-round fighter. Those are fighters that I see and be like, you know what I'm saying? But Xander, not necessarily gas tank issues, but I've seen fatigue, which is normal. We're human beings at the end of the fucking day. But if you are fatiguing with somebody like a Bas Barao, who's not as sharp as Boots, who doesn't have accuracy like Boots, doesn't have counter punching ability like Boots, imagine having that fatigue, but also with damage while taking damage. I just think stylistically Boots is all wrong, yo. And like I said, I got a lot of respect for Xander. I love the fact that he took this fight, but breaking down this shit, and I know, he's from Philly, so he's being biased, bro. I'm also Puerto Rican. And I love the root for Puerto Rican fighters. But, I rock with Boots, of course. And I just think, objectively speaking, a lot of y'all want to deny the fact that I'm being objective. But when I visualize the fight between these two guys, knowing what they're both capable of doing, I don't see this going well for Xander. I don't. Unless Boots just can't seem to catch up to Xander's foot speed and his hand speed, and unless like Boots is just looking for one big shot and he just can't find it because Xander is constantly on the move. Like if this nigga just taps into like his Wilfred Benitez Willie Pep bag, or this nigga just becomes Pernell Whitaker overnight. All right, you know what I mean? Anything can happen. But I just don't see it. I've seen it, and there's a big criticism about Boots. Oh, he gets hit clean up. Bro, I challenge anybody to be as aggressive as Boots has been in his career and not get hit. This shit is damn near impossible. It's damn near impossible. There's no way that you're going to be sitting there throwing punches while being on the fucking center line, and when somebody throws punches back, you're not there. That's impossible. But I've seen Boots, whenever he taps in his defensive bag, it's hard to touch him. I've seen him make defensive adjustments in the ring where you might land I see Stanionis land a lead right hand on Boots early in the fight. But then when Stanionis attempted to do it again, he ran into a counter. Not only that, I see Boots roll with the shots. I see Boots catching the shots. I see him slipping the shots in totality. You don't really see Xander doing these types of things. And Xander saying shit like, "Oh, I'm just as athletic as Boots." You're not. You're not. You may be athletic. Y'all can call this whatever y'all want. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Me and Xander come from the same island. You know what I mean? We may have similar ancestry and all that shit. Got heavy African DNA. Shout out to my African brothers. But I'm going to tell y'all this right now. The athleticism that Boots has is like very rare to come across. The athleticism that Xander has is typical amongst Puerto Ricans. I'm going to just say that, bro. I know a lot of athletic Puerto Ricans. I was one of them. I could bounce on the toes, and I could do all that shit that Xander doing. Boots is he's like a once-in-a-generation type of athlete to me when it comes to boxing. That's why he gets the Roy Jones comparisons and all that shit. Xander is a good athlete. Boots is a great athlete. So Xander can have in his head, oh, we're both, I'm just as athletic as him. I'm just as strong as him. Oh, I'm bigger than him. Bro, whatever you need to get through this fight psychologically, go ahead and do it. But anybody that's seen Boots fight and sees Xander fight, there's two different levels of athlete in there. You want to know how I know? You want to know how I know? Because Boots could throw away the fundamentals and still dominate a fight. Do you think Xander could throw away the fundamentals and rely solely on his athleticism and win a fight? Could Xander be the type motherfucker to throw a triple hook on the inside and land every one of them? Can you see him doing a leaping left hook on some Roy Jones shit? Could you see him, having his hands down at his waist and making motherfuckers miss 3, 4, 5 punch combinations? No, you don't see that. It's a different type of reflexes. It's a different type of athleticism. And that's just what it is. The Black American fighter just happens to have those capabilities. It's very rare if a Puerto Rican has that. Just saying. I know for a fact, and I come from I come from Black people. I never had that type of athleticism, not at all. Jay said he's not fast nor creative to do that. I agree. Xander's fast, but he's not fast like Boots. It's a different level. Xander has decent speed. He's not slow. He's definitely not slow. And I'm thinking slow. I'm thinking like Joe Joyce. I'm thinking like motherfuckers like that. You feel me? Like that's slow. Like who else was slow as a bitch? Shit. Shout out Danny Garcia, but that nigga was slow. No disrespect, but Danny was definitely slow. It's a few. I don't want to name everybody, but there's some slow motherfuckers out here. Slow hands. George Foreman, yeah, his punches was wide, which made his punches look a lot slower. Regardless, y'all feel where I'm coming from. I've had motherfuckers who spar Boots, and they all said the same shit. They're like, bro, the nigga got power, but what's different about him is that you cannot see his punches. Bohachuk is definitely slow. Yes, definitely slow. Even Mortazaliev, I think he's slower than a bitch. But nah, they say, bro, this nigga got 16 to 18 ounce gloves on, and you cannot see his punches. He said you see like that first one, but whatever, however many punches he's throwing, you don't see them. You feel what I'm saying? And that's with 16 ounce gloves on. I never heard nobody say that about Xander. Oh, bro, you can't see his punches. No, you can see his punches, but with accumulation and where he places the shots and the combinations he throws, he's gonna break you down. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just what I peep. And I love the fact that there's a lot of people in the building right now excited for this fight. You know what I mean? We got to continue pushing this fight. You know what I mean? We got to let the people know that these are the fights that we love. Boxing has to show out for these fights. Boxing fans have to show out for these fights. I don't give a fuck if you have access to 1,000,001 streams that may be crystal clear and all that shit. If you support boxing and you want to continue to have this trend in boxing where the best are facing the best in each and every division, you have to show them that this is what you want. As long as you are showing them that you are willing to put your money up to see these type of fights, they'll continue to give you that. You think they don't want your money? Dominique said, I hope they sell out the Barclays. I'm about to see exactly where the tickets stand as of right now. Let me see where the tickets is at as of right now. Because I know that first couple days, they was tripping. I was just seeing that they added some new tickets. So that's a good sign. If they're adding more tickets, that mean they're getting rid of them. Let me see. Let me see where I'm at. Let me see something. Ooh, I got me some good seats, man. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Definitely some tickets still available, but it looked like they added seats. You feel what I'm saying? So it's cool. It's cool. Where my ticket is at, man, I got them for a good price, bro. Because where my ticket is at, they all like 1100 it up now. Not the lowest one I see is 609, but outside of that, they all 900, 800, 1100. Ooh-wee. Yeah, I got mine at good price, boy. Yeah. But the tickets look like they doing solid. You know what I'm saying? I wonder how many tickets they sold. I would love to know. But listen, there's a lot of people who are last minute. Thank you, brother. Shout out to Richard Topman with the happy birthday, Lil Mazuma, from now until your very blessed future. Thank you, man. I really, really appreciate everybody that's coming through and showing love to my son. I really appreciate that, man. That's definitely my son is definitely the key to my heart. So and that's really heartwarming that y'all showing love right now. You know what I'm saying? Xander could box. Let's not get it fucked up. Xander could box. But does he have is he a special enough boxer to outbox Jaron Ennis? I don't know, man. I don't think so. You know what I mean? I like it, and I'm going off of what I've seen. I watched Xander his whole career from him being 16 years old till now, especially his latest fights, the Jorge Garcia Perez fight. He boxed beautifully. Dude couldn't keep up with him, but he didn't have the characteristics of a Jaron Ennis. That's why Jaron Ennis is letting him know, you know what I'm saying? Because Xander's like, he taking that little Floyd Mayweather quote, 23 have tried and 23 have failed. That may be very true, brother, but those 23 guys that you have faced, they don't have an eighth of what Jaron Ennis brings into the game. Jaron Ennis got more motherfucking athleticism and God gifted abilities in his motherfucking pinky toe than the 23 niggas that you fought in your career. He's like, bro, why you keep comparing me to them guys? But in Xander's mind, just tapping into a fighter psyche, when you winning for a while and you just always seem to find a way to get the job done, and then you a motherfucking unified champ, you 23 years old, you know what I mean? You got, you got your name clicking off in your home island. It's hard to tell niggas some shit when they in that mind frame, when they that high up in their head mentally. It's hard to tell a nigga different. That nigga, because it's in their mind like, nigga, I'm the shit. I'm the youngest nigga. I'm the youngest unified champion in boxing right now. Y'all niggas can't tell me nothing. And I was like, yeah, like you good and all that, but you wasn't doing what you was doing when you was my age. What you was doing when you was my age. I already know that Xander's mentality. It ain't necessarily overlooking Boots. It's just him being very sure of himself. You know what I'm saying? Because just thinking about it, just think about it. If you on the streets and you a young boy, right, and you know what I mean, you getting your first couple scraps and shit, you having some good little ass whoopings under your belt. You whooping on grown, then get to the point where you start whooping on grown men, right? And be like, oh, that little nigga down the block, he a fucking problem. And your head, you gonna be like, man, I've been whooping all these niggas out here. Can't nobody do shit with me. I'm different. You know what I mean? That's how Xander see it. Boots could tell him anything. And you know what Xander gonna tell him? You supposed to think that. But I also feel this way. And until Boots beats that mentality out of him, he will forever think that way. So it is what it is. Thank you for the wishes. Thank you for the wishes. Eric Dallas says they have approximately 3,000 left. Majority nosebleeds. Well, that's a success right there. Because how many people the Barclays hold? The Barclays hold 19,000. So based off of what you're saying, they sold. I don't know if all 19,000 seats are available, but let's say they open the floor up for all the tickets to be sold. Let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. Look at this. Look at this. Look at all the different sections that's saying, only 2 left over here, only 8 left over here, only 8 left over here, only 15 left over here. You know what I'm saying? 2 left over here, 2 left, 2 left, 2 left, 2 left, like 6 left. Like these jars are selling, bro. These jars are selling. So yeah, it looks like there's a lot more tickets to be bought. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's a lot of gray areas too. It's a lot of fucking gray areas that sold out. So kudos to Zayas, kudos to Boots, man. They out there selling them tickets. And there's a lot of people that's last minute too. That's another thing. There's people that will wait until the week of the fight or the day of the fight to go cop a ticket. So we're not even taking them into consideration. These is motherfuckers who just want that just have to be there. You feel me? So when them last minute tickets start rolling in too, ooh-wee, this might be a sold out event. This shit gonna be packed regardless though. Go to SeatGeek for what? What I gotta go to SeatGeek for? They gonna give me something else to look at or what? 2 weeks out, they're gonna sell that bitch out. I mean, that's what it looked like. Because I got a few homies from Philly that say they gonna go too. They just trying to see if they next couple weeks gonna be clear. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas waiting for some money to roll in. You know what I'm saying? So look at this. He said, Mazuma, what the fuck is wrong with you? Slow or something? Definitely something off with you. First of all, if you're gonna be criticizing motherfuckers for being slow, you got to make sure that your sentence is grammatically correct. Mazuma, what the fuck is wrong with your slow? This is a complete contradiction, my brother. If you're gonna go out your way to call somebody slow, you gotta make sure that whatever you writing is grammatically correct and actually comes across as educated. Now, am I slow? I doubt it. I think a lot more people than you would have noticed that by now. But one thing I'm gonna say about you is you talking from a fake page. You would never say that to my face. And if you did, you're gonna see something come at you very fast. It won't be slow. And what'll most likely be slow is you waking up. It'll probably take you a while to wake the fuck up. It'll be a slow recovery process too. So there's that. So if anything will be slow, I challenge you. If you're going to be at the Barclays, I challenge you to say that to me. There's a few niggas that want to say something to me, but you know what I'm saying. I would challenge you to say that to me in person, and then we're gonna see exactly how that goes. That most likely that shit won't go in your favor. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. Especially if my boy Slime in the building, I'm gonna just have Slime get you up out the way. You feel what I'm saying? The nation gonna be in the building. Woo-wee. These trolls love your channels, bro. They love me, bro. But you know what I noticed though, and that's how you know these niggas be gay, low key. These niggas only talk like that to me after I get a haircut. When I get a haircut, ooh, them trolls be popping out the building. Oh, that nigga look nice, man. Let's say something to him. Like these niggas be turned on behind their computers, bro. These niggas is fags. Fags. Shout out to Justin Jackson for packing him. I appreciate that, brother. How you gonna call a nigga slow, but then you ain't even put the sentence together properly? Like niggas is retarded. Make sure you come across as educated when you make them type of accusations, brother. That's all. Mr. Big Play Bray, what up? They said trolls or other channels faking to be online weirdos to get talking points for their weak ass channels. That's a fact. That's a fact, bro. It'd be crazy because it'd be channels that be like 3, 4, 5 times bigger than mine, right? And I had a couple homies send me over like DMs because I'll be having homies that don't be commenting, but they just be watching me and shit. They be like, bro, this nigga just took your talking point. And I'll be like, no, bro, like it's possible for us to have, the same opinion on something. But it'd be like these niggas take the analogies, these niggas take the predictions, they take the like everything down to the T. And I'm like, bro. And then I'll check my subs, and they're actually one of my subs. So I'm like, bro. The least you could do is shout me out, nigga. Like, if you gonna be dick eating, like, that's exactly what that is. In Philly, we call that dick eating. Stealing the nigga sauce, stealing the nigga vibes, whatever the case is, that's considered dick eating over here. So, like, bro, and then niggas I don't fuck with to this day. You know, niggas who done got my channel reported and all, they used to follow me. They used to be in the chat. Them niggas used to be trying to see exactly what I think about shit, bro. These niggas love how the way I talk this boxing shit, but they don't never want to give me no credit. It's 50 niggas in the building right now. I guarantee you that one of these niggas that's in the views, is a big channel, or at least a bigger channel than me, a bigger subs, way more subscribers than me, and they gonna go ahead and take one of my points that I just made breaking down Xander and Jaron and this, and they gonna go ahead and take that and bring that over to their channel, and niggas gonna be like, yo, bro, this nigga got the best boxing talk, man. I don't know, man. Yo, this nigga know boxing, man. Whole time you just found the nigga who know boxing to take from. You know what I'm saying? Art Man, what up? I'll be seeing Art Man hitting the bag. That nigga be yo, Art Man want to fight ASAP. We gotta get that nigga a rumble on brand risk, bro. We gotta get you a fight on brand risk, dog. You know what I mean? He be hitting that bag, he be turning that bitch too. Yak, 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 yak. I be seeing him getting off the line too. I'm like, okay, yo, Art Man be studying his craft. I like that shit, man. I like when motherfuckers, you know what I mean? They talk that boxing shit, but they actually looking to learn it too. You feel me? That shit is dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Super dope. I'm gonna just say that. Salute, brother. You be ruffling a lot of feathers too, man. But you know what I mean? He be punching the shit out that bag. We gotta see some sparring, Art. We gotta see some sparring. We gotta see, man. You know what I mean? Because the bag don't hit back, so we gotta see exactly where you at with it. You know, I be seeing you on Twitter though. Bar Yark says, let me see. Mazuma, what you think about Boots in the clinch? I think he kind of soft in those Karen fights and can sit there and wait for the ref to break it up. Soft is crazy, but his inside game is definitely sharp. Now in the clinch, I'm gonna have to watch that a little bit more. That's a part of Boots' game that he rarely ever taps into, because a lot of people, I seen him in the clinch with Armando Alvarez, and he was actually landing some sharp shots. I seen him taking his head off the line in the pocket. So I know he's capable of fighting in there, but I don't think it's his biggest asset. I'm gonna just say that Boots is most effective, in my opinion, at mid range. I think that and he's capable of fighting long range, mid range, and in the pocket. I've seen it with my own eyes, but it seems like he gets more of a thrill, at least, or he prefers to fight at mid range. And when he, you know, I think he likes to get some extensions on his shots. But regardless, he is very much accurate, you know, on the inside. He places shots real well on the inside, and I love how the way he creates angles on the inside as well. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really see Xander, in my opinion, I don't really see Xander being in the clinch with him all like that. You know what I mean? But I have seen moments. I see what you're talking about, though. I have seen moments where they've been in the clinch and Boots just, you know, holds and just waits for the ref to break it up. Me personally, I'm the type of coach that wants fighters to continue to work even in the clinch. You know, working with that free hand. You know what I mean? Even if it's not the most malicious punch, you know what I mean? You just touching the body in itself could, you know, break your opponent down. You feel what I'm saying? Little shots to the solar plex, you know, little shots on the even if you do some little dirty shit, hit the motherfucker on the hips, you know what I'm saying? Hit him on the sides and shit like that. You know, them little shots, you know what I mean? My one OG told me, he said a few crumbs will make a cake. So them little small shots could definitely pay off some big dividends, especially in the later rounds, if it gets there. You feel what I'm saying? He said, you got Tim sending you a C note. It's lit. You lit. Yeah, that's the biggest super chat that I've ever received. Shout out to Tim Bradley for that. And I let him know. I was like, bro, I've been a big critic of yours in the past. He was like, man, I don't care. Like, do you? So that was dope. Shout out to Tim Bradley. Hopefully we collab. I mean, he know who I am, obviously. Hopefully we could collab one day. That'd be dope. Artman says Xander trying to come in 190 against Boost to absorb Boost punches and punch with him. Just because you see, this is the thing, right? Just because you blow up to 190 pounds or however much you blow up does not mean that is guaranteed that you're going to walk through somebody's punches. That's not how this boxing shit works. Especially with the type of accuracy that Boots has, his hand speed, and his overall power. You could be 200 and get hit with one of those shots flush on the chin and you not respond well to it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this ain't like Tyson Fury blowing up to 270, 280 to fight Deontay Wilder, in the heavyweight division where, Wilder ain't even always had the best gas tank. You know what I'm saying? And, in the heavyweights, if they throw punches for 6 rounds straight, they fatiguing. This is not this type of situation. You feel me? So, I mean, Xander could be whatever weight that he wants to be. Me personally, I think that if he were to blow up to 190, I think that'd take away from his performance. Because you're telling me, because 190 to 154, that's literally a 36-pound weight gain. You're telling me you're going to put on 36 pounds in 24 hours and you're not going to feel sluggish? You're not going to feel slow? You're still going to be fast? Can you imagine that? I challenge anybody. Put on 36. Try your best to put on 36 pounds in a fucking day and then see how you feel after that. Drink all the Pedialyte, eat all the pasta, eat whatever steak you want. Just try. Get some IVs, nigga. Try to put on 36 pounds and then try to fight for 36 minutes the next day. I bet you won't feel well. You're not going to feel well. That's why Andre Ward used to say, Andre Ward was like, man, I wish you would blow up 20, 30 pounds against me. He said that for a reason. Because you putting on that type of weight lets me know that you're not the most disciplined fighter, for one. You didn't cut that weight. And, if you put on, another thing is, if you put on 36 pounds in 24 hours, you did not cut the weight properly. You did not cut the weight properly. Anybody that ever done cut weight the wrong way, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Where y'all niggas just, y'all do an Epsom salt bath, y'all niggas sit in a sauna or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? And then you fuck around and you might lose 12 pounds of water. And then, after you weigh in, you may put that 12 pounds back on. But guess what? You feel like shit. You feel like shit. So that's why Andre Ward used to say, man, I wouldn't give a fuck if a motherfucker. I wish you would put on, he never cursed. But like he be like, I wish somebody would put on 20, 30 pounds and then try to fight me. You know what I mean? Because in them later rounds, we're going to see exactly what good a shape you really in. And that's how that shit feel. Yeah, that feeling when you're mad full, that probably feel. Yeah, it's like that motherfucker Xander, if he was to put on 36 pounds in 24 hours, that motherfucker going to feel like how you feel like off the itis. Is that possible? I mean, it is. It is. You know what I mean? Them UFC, with water manipulation and all of that nowadays, especially in the UFC, them like Alex Pereira, that motherfucker put on 30 pounds in 24 hours and all of that. But that's somebody who boils down from fucking 230 pounds to he's at heavyweight now, but to fight at 180. What's that weight class? That like 185, then 205 and all of that. Yeah, but Pereira, if you notice though, when Pereira was doing all that crazy weight manipulation like that, he got chinned. He got put to sleep. And it wasn't even an insane shot. You know why? Because he was chinny from that crazy weight cut he had. How about Khamzat Chimaev, right? For my UFC people. I watched that Sean Strickland fight, bro. He was, after that first round, his gas tank was on reserve mode. He was on reserve mode. Slime said, what? What the fuck I say? No, that shit definitely ain't healthy. But when Xander, when you young like that, and I don't know how much weight Xander gonna put on. He probably go to like 170 or something. I don't know. I really don't know. But if you saying 190, 190 is like walk around weight. That's not in shape weight. It's a difference. It's a difference. If you fight a nigga at your walk around weight, that's a death wish. That's a suicide mission. Xander probably walk around 190 when he outside of camp. Yeah, Zod tripping. There's a difference between in shape weight and walk around weight. You feel me? If Xander's in shape at 190 pounds, this nigga's killing himself to make the weight. And you definitely gonna overtrain as a result of that. And you're gonna be a dead man regardless. Either way, you blow up to 190, you in trouble. Them legs gonna be feeling stuck in the sand. You know what I mean? Your energy ain't gonna be all like that. Nah, you don't want to do that. Go about that rehydration process smart. You know what I mean? Bar, I'm gonna just call you Bar, brother. He says, I did think Xander would have moved up after a bass. He looked bad at the wins. Yeah, I was speaking about that too. I was saying that shit with my niggas at the gym the other day. I'm like, bro, like for real, Xander didn't look good on the scale when he fought a bass bro. His face all sunken in and all that. And I told y'all, man, I tried to tell y'all, man, and the lead up to the Jorge Garcia Perez fight when he won his first world title, when he was doing them little episodes with Top Rank and all of that, he was sitting in the kitchen waiting for his chef to finish cooking his food. And bro, he was really emphasizing how important it was for him to make weight. Almost as if, and he said it, and he continued to emphasize it to the point where in my head, I automatically felt like it was a concern of his. You feel me? So if a nigga be like, yo, let's say you drive with a nigga in the car and be like, bro, I just hope we got enough gas to get home. I just hope we got enough gas to get home. I just hope we got enough gas to get home. Damn, nigga, how much gas is in that motherfucking tank? Let's go fill that shit up, nigga, like you tripping. Like, Xander was like, I just got to make sure I just got to make sure I make weight. I just got to make sure I make weight. The only thing is just worrying about making weight. My nigga, all fighters got weight anxiety. I'm gonna just say that to some extent. But when you're constantly saying that, that's making me feel like that weight ain't coming off how it used to. And let's keep it real. Since Xander been 16 years old, this nigga done tripled and quadrupled in size. He debuted at 140, bro. If you looked at him right now, you wouldn't even know. As big as he is, you wouldn't even know that he debuted at 140 pounds. Then I seen this nigga go to 147. Like, okay. But then, like, he looked like he got even taller, bigger than that. Then the 147 looked a little tough for him to make. I'm like, all right, what the fuck is going on with Xander? He's hitting a growth spurt right in front of our very eyes. You got to remember, they say that the average man don't stop growing until they're 21 years old. Some men after that. There's motherfuckers with growth spurts after 21. I hit a growth spurt when I was 21. You feel me? Feet and everything, feet and height. So Xander's a 154 now, and 54 is looking tough for him to make. So what I feel like is after Boots beats him, he's gonna go up to 160. That's what I think. I think they're gonna say that weight played a factor. You know what I mean? He's not gonna be obligated to defend titles anymore because Boots is gonna take them off him, and he's gonna go to 160. I'm trying to tell you. I would be shocked if Xander lost the Boots and then he went ahead and stayed at 54. I don't see that happening. He'll go to 160, and they'll probably rank him in the WBO at 160, and he'll probably fight. He probably fight a Jonathan Beck or Denzel Bentley, like one of them niggas. Mark was 4'2" at 19. That's hilarious. I was stuck at 5'7" for the longest. I remember that shit. My driver's license right now says 5'7" because I never updated it. I got my license when I was like 16, 17 years old. I gotta update that shit next year when I renew my shit. God damn, these allergies kicking my ass. My fault, y'all. Bella Faith in the building. Good to see Bella Faith. Mark Colazzo, that's hilarious. Shout out Oscar Colazzo. I ain't know that nigga knew English till recently. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Bella Faith says Zayas isn't super defensively responsible either, but the media tends to pick Boots' flaws more because they hope Xander pulls it off. That's one thing. And then another thing is they hold Boots to a higher standard. They hold black fighters to a higher standard, period. So, for one, they want to see the black fighter lose, so they're going to emphasize all of their mistakes, is hoping that that's the reason why they come up short. And then two, they don't look at fighters who aren't black as the same level as black fighters because historically, black fighters have always been the best fighters in the world, historically. Kind of like basketball players, right? Like in the NBA, we all know who the best players are. Historically, has always been the black American ball player. Just black ball players, period. But they don't, and Luka's a phenomenal talent. But I seen that nigga getting chunky. You feel me? I see that nigga get a little fat. And I'm like, why is he not being criticized for this? He look a little chunky. Like I see a little stomach on that motherfucker and everything running up and down that court. But y'all niggas criticize Zion Williamson whatever chance y'all get. And I know he was out of pocket. But regardless, the energy wasn't the same. They did the same shit with Charles Barkley, the round mound of rebound. Like they I don't know. Like I never really seen Luka get the same criticism. That motherfucker looked like he was eating good. I don't know about now. I don't really watch ball all like that. But that motherfucker looked like he was eating good. And ain't nobody give a fuck. Because he was playing his ass off. Saying they said Zion a little different. Man, I ain't gonna lie, that kid disappointing. You know what I'm saying? Like you Zion Williamson, bro. Like I guess niggas ain't there really good. I guess he don't really got nobody around him who let him know who the fuck he is. Like the expectations on him was crazy, and he just under-delivered viciously. Yeah, like, bro. I ain't telling you that you can't have fun with the hoes, bro, but you over here giving these bitches crazy bags for their attention. It's like, bro, you could fuck. I'm gonna just say this, bro. If y'all niggas is somebody, if you're just somebody, a majority of these hoes you don't gotta pay to play for. I don't know who gave y'all this notion that you gotta pay to play all the time. Nigga, check them fucking DMs, nigga. And see what bitches is aiming at you. Hey, get that shit up for the low ski. For free 99, you ain't even gotta worry about it. This nigga Zion giving these bitches 5-6 figure paydays just to keep throwing dick in them. You out your rabbit ass mind. What my nigga Sugar Free said, bitch couldn't get an ice cream off the truck fucking with me. Crazy as shit. And food is an addiction. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That's an actual addiction. You feel me? But come on, man. Zaz said, nah, good example, Mark, is how they complain about SGA foul baiting, but Jokic and Luka do the same shit. Bron complain about a foul. Niggas hush mode when Luka and Jokic do it. Um, I'm sure that's an example too. Like I said, I don't really know too much about like what's currently going on in basketball. I did hear about SGA, foul baiting and all of that shit, but I'm sure that's something that's relevant too. What my main thing was the the standards are different for the black athlete. They put on a different pedestal. Yeah, he was cashing bitches out. That's how you know Zion ain't never had money for one. You can tell that nigga ain't experienced with no pussy. And he ain't got no strong male figure in his life to sit his dumb ass down and let him know he tripping. I don't know if Zion got a dad? Let me see. Hmm. They say he got a dad and a stepdad. Them niggas tripping. But regardless, Zion, he tripping. He tripping. He needs somebody to take over his funds. For real, for real. Get that nigga an allowance and just hold the rest of it. Cause that little nigga gonna go broke fucking around like that. Gonna go broke quick. Am I gonna watch the fight tomorrow on live? It depends how early I finish up the festivities with my son. You feel what I'm saying? I got some things planned. My son be in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock. You feel what I'm saying? So most likely, yes. But if we have a little bit too much fun, I mean, stay up a little later, whatever the case is, probably not. I'm gonna have to, you're just gonna have to stay in tune with the announcements. I'm not sure because I wasn't able to, my son was a bit exhausted, so I pretty much held off on the things that I wanted to do with him today, and I'm gonna just do it tomorrow. He'll be energized tomorrow, that's for sure. He gonna get some good sleep. He'll be ready. Um, you got to think, bro. Zion is young. You got to learn somehow. We all got to learn, but like that's extreme though. You feel what I'm saying? That's a bit extreme. Eventually you got to have somebody, sit you down and be like, yo, my nigga, you tweaking. And if Zion got any type of respect for him, he'll listen. Whores and seafood boils is crazy. Yeah, I seen what the Knicks fans been doing, bro. They, that type shit, bro. That shit kind of make me want to see them lose, but they won't. They won't lose. But yeah, they a bit excessive. I think they a bit out of pocket. Yeah, I think they be acting crazy like that because niggas don't carry burners around there. That's why I said that New York shit will only fly in New York because y'all niggas ain't doing that shit over here. I promise you that. I ain't never the Sixers did beat the Knicks. The Knicks did beat the Sixers. I'm sorry, but I ain't see no Knicks fans coming to Philly and tearing niggas jerseys off. Nigga, that would have been a suicide mission. You would have went right up there. He said, I'm gonna head out. Have a nice night and happy birthday to your son. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you. Thank you, man. Mark, if you were single and had 300 mil, how you living? Not like Zion. Not like Zion, bro. You know what they say about businessmen, right? You know what businessmen look for amongst their peers? They look at they look to see whether men are married or not. They say that according to billionaires and shit like that, that they look at men who have wives as having structure, you know, having some sort of loyalty. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good sign. I think regardless, if I had 300 mil, I'd still be with the same woman I'm with today. Nah. You gotta trust somebody. Like 300 mil, cool, but if I'm lonely, it's like the fuck shit trash. Zion addicted to that BBL bubble butt. That's crazy. But anyways, man, had a great conversation today, man. Let's get into some open boxing topics. You know what I mean? Devin Haney, Keyshawn, and Shakur Stevenson update, man. I ain't gonna lie, I do feel like the boxing fans did get their hopes up, with assuming that the Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson fight was gonna happen. Seemed like Shakur Stevenson was on board with the 144-pound catch weight. Devin Haney basically called his bluff, like, oh, all right, so we could get a fight happening at 144. Shakur said yes. Then shortly after the fact, Shakur is asking for Keyshawn's blessings when he didn't ask for Keyshawn's blessings in the past, with taking his Teofimo Lopez fight, what have you. The WBO, meanwhile, is enforcing Devin Haney to have his next fight against the number one contender, which will be Keyshawn Davis. So as of right now, Keyshawn Davis is not a mandatory, but, they'll be looking to mandate that in due time. So they're looking to stage that fight in August, from what I believe. And, if that's what the WBO wants, then that Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney fight is going to have to take a back seat temporarily. So regardless, I'm not mad that Keyshawn is getting this fight with Devin Haney. It is what it is. That's still a great fight regardless. But, I did want to see, I would, in my opinion, I would have much rather wanted to see the Shakur and Devin Haney fight in comparison to Devin Haney and Keyshawn. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Justice said, I have Shakur fatigue. Yeah, man. Look, he's coming off of the biggest win of his career against Teofimo and shit like that. But, I ain't going to lie, bro. Like, it'd be hard for me to back Shakur play most times. Jalil, shout out to Jalil in the building. What's going on, brother? He said Devin and Shakur is the better fight to me. Hands down, I feel like this is the best fight. You know what I'm saying? These guys actually have some history. I mean, they known each other since they was kids. A fight between them has been, boiling up since they were both at 135 pounds. They had some negotiations that fell through previously, from what I understand. Devin Haney went up, got a title at 140, went up again, got a title at 147. Shakur Stevenson moved up from 135, just got a title in the WBO. And he's making it, Shakur has been associating himself with all the other big names that are in or around his division. So when the fight got, put on the table, I guess, Shakur was denying that, there was negotiations going on between his team and Devin Haney's, but come to find out, it was true. So I don't even know why. What was that? That was weird. But anyways, it's very frustrating. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very frustrating, but it is what it is, man. I guess we'll just have to wait for that fight, just like how we have to wait for every other fight. It's just weird to me that Shakur Stevenson was throwing 144, 144, all that 144 is fair. And, he just didn't want to let it go. He didn't want to let it go. Prior to Devin Haney saying, all right, let's do it at 144, basically, he didn't want to let it go. You feel me? Like, he could have just been like, you know what, I'm going to stick around, see what's going on at 140. You know what I mean? We'll get to that fight whenever I'm coming up to 147. Shakur continued typing on social media saying how 144 is more than fair. I'm an active champion at 140. He's an active champion at 47. Let's just see each other, let's just see each other in the middle. And, 2 fights ago, Devin was fighting at 144 anyway, so what's the problem? Like, you were really, really, really campaigning for this fight. You were really campaigning for this fight. And when the motherfucker call you bluff, like, all right, let's do that 144 then. Oh, when my brothers put, what he said, what the fuck he said? Well, my brother's blessing, we can make the fight happen. It's like, bro, cut it the fuck out, bro. Stop it. Because when you was pleading your case for getting this fight, you never said anything about getting Keyshawn blessings. And you knew he was number one in the WBO prior to you saying all that shit unless you don't keep up with your brother. And then as soon as Keyshawn Davis say something on the live, like, yo, that nigga Shakur about to take another fight from me, man. And you know, he was dead serious, but he was like using jokes. See, that's how you know these niggas be pussy, because, you know, these niggas like to tell the truth behind jokes instead of just keeping it real. You know, Keyshawn was like, man, he stole another fight from me, man. You know, I'm about to go back to my streaming shit, and I'm a spar Shakur for stealing my fights. Like, nigga, no, you really feel a way about Shakur. You hate the fact that he's taking your opportunities, but you don't want to ruin the friendship that y'all have for whatever reason. So you're going to act as if it's okay when you know in your mind, in your heart, it's not okay. Bella Faith said, wasn't Key also number one in the WBO when he was at 140? That would be correct. Not only that, but Keyshawn was actually ranked in the WBC while Shakur Stevenson had the WBC at lightweight as well. Niggas forgot about that. I didn't. Keyshawn has been ranked. I think he was ranked number one, too. I'm going to have to go back and check. Matter of fact, let's go check that shit. Let's go check that shit. Let's go check the WBC rankings. Let's check the WBC rankings. Because the thing about these websites as well, they tell you when you could go back a year or so. Let's see. Shit. One point in time. Damn, it won't allow me to see the motherfucking. Where it was? Hold on. They said, nah, it was William Cepeda. I forgot about that. But I know he was ranked for a fact. He was ranked number 3. Sorry. He was ranked the number 3 contender in the WBC lightweight rankings. Sorry about that. Coach Eddie ATL asks a great question. Why is Boot sparring Demetrius Andrade? He is a southpaw. Xander Zayas is left-handed. But y'all didn't know that. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but Xander is really left-hand dominant in the orthodox stance. So why not fight? Why not spar a southpaw who has similar abilities? And Xander, I'm watching Xander hit the bag, and I'm seeing him switch southpaw too. So why not? Boots has been sparring orthodox and southpaw fighters for this camp, and I think that's a brilliant move. Yeah, out of power. Let me put the picture back up for y'all to see, because I posted it. I had it up earlier, but y'all just probably just coming in. So this was Demetrius Andrade sparring Jaron Ennis earlier today. From what I heard, it was good work. He did 6 rounds with Demetrius. He did 6 rounds with this other guy right here. Like I said, I don't know his name, so if anybody could let me know, that'd be very much appreciated. He said, my nigga Mark about to help Andy Cruz. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, we definitely need that work. Why not? We got an Olympic gold medalist. We got an Olympic gold medalist in Philadelphia. Why would we not work with him? Hell yeah. Dang good sparring for Zayas fight. Yeah. Zayas got some great work too, but I don't think Xander has brought in another champion to spar yet. So, I mean, you had Tiger Johnson and, all these other good, solid guys, solid, great work. But, none of them was a two-division champion. I know that. Justice said, I know you living in the moment, but you're a part of history and you help Boots. I mean, that's my job, brother. Like, I don't really even look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the fact that I'm able to help. I just hope that when I get when I have my moments to be a part of, boxing history, I hope that they're able to help me as well. You feel what I'm saying? It's dope though. It's dope, man. I got a good relationship with Bozy and Boots and them. They've always been respectful to me. And however I'm capable of helping, I'm gonna help. It's that simple. If I'm capable of doing so, I'll do it. You feel me? And plus, it's not just benefiting them; it's benefiting me as well as a boxing coach. Helping develop my fighters. How many fighters could say that? Yo, my coach got me sparring with Jaron Ennis. Oh, my coach got me work with Andy Cruz. Oh, my coach got me work with Stephen Fulton. Oh, like how many people could actually say they did that? It's not that many, man. It's not that many. Bella Face said, "Oh snap! Happy birthday to your son! Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for everybody who's showing love. Resume building, yeah. Like this is where fighters grow and develop from sparring. Getting that top tier work. You feel me? Sparring is the key to really taking fighters to the next level. Really shows them what they need to work on. You know what I mean? What they've improved in. How they could get better. And from what I heard, Andy Cruz has always been a nice guy. Always. He gave my homie a ride back to the crib. He didn't even know him. The bull sparred, my homie sparred Andy Cruz. He wasn't from the area. And he needed a ride back to his Airbnb. So he was about to call an Uber, and Andy Cruz was like, "No, you ain't gotta call no Uber. I'll drive you home." Mind you, this was totally out of the way from where he from where Andy stayed. It was completely out of his way, but he just did it off the love. And mind you, they don't even speak the same language. Andy don't even know English. So that speak volumes to who Andy Cruz is as a person. That's dope, man. And I wish Andy Cruz much success just based off of his personality alone. That's dope. People would pay to be in the dungeon, absolutely. But you got to be cut from a certain cloth to go to the dungeon. So that's all I know. A Singh said, Mark, with this win, if Boots beats Xander, do you have Boots officially on the pound for pound list? And if yes, what number are you putting him at? I wouldn't really know. That's a great question to sing. We would have to look at our pound for pound list and just go from there. Let me actually pull up the Google Docs real quick. But we gotta have some type of conversation, at least an honorable mention, to be honest with you, because at that point he would literally be a two-weight unified world champion, and that's a big deal, man. Like both divisions that you've been in, without taking a defeat, you've unified. Like it's a big deal. You feel what I'm saying? In my opinion. So for real, he probably would crack number 8 on my list if he were to do so. I would probably put him over Oscar Collazo. I would probably put him over Emmanuel Navarrete. And at this point, I would probably put him over Junto. I I think that he would. I think he would crack. He wouldn't be top five but number eight would have. In my opinion, would be a good number for Boots if he was able to put that off. If he's able to accomplish this, I wouldn't be mad at all. Eric Tribbett, he said Xander could spar King Kong. Boots would crucify him the 27th period. I hear you, OG. I hear you. Definitely rooting for him. I want to see him get the job done. Rouse said if he go undisputed at 54, it makes him top six, possibly five. Yeah, I mean, because for him to become undisputed, he would have to be Josh Kelly or Sebastian Fundora. You know what I'm saying? Josh Kelly coming off of the biggest win of his career against Bakr Mortazalia. You know what I'm saying? So he went ahead and he packed Josh Kelly. That's great. You feel what I'm saying? And if he go ahead and he take apart Sebastian Fundora, who a lot of people are claiming is number one guy in the division, then absolutely, like he definitely is climbing up that, pound for pound list because um, there's plenty of people who become undisputed and probably wouldn't have climbed up that high on the list. However, considering how action packed 154 pounds is, that would be very impressive. Everybody, oh, Sebastian Fedora, he's a, he's like a, what they say, he's like a created character. You know what I'm saying? Like he just has everything. He's a freak of nature. And I'm like, all right, Fedora's getting better, but y'all making it seem like this motherfucker invincible. And that's definitely not the case. Like, yeah, you beat up, an old washed up Keith Thurman who ain't belong at 54, to be honest with you. Yeah, he beat up on Tim Zoo, you know what I'm saying, who got sparked prior to that fight where you made him quit. You was getting your ass whooped by Zoo until that elbow happened, and then the fight went your way after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like Fundora got some good wins. You beat Erickson Lubin. You feel me? Like, yeah, you got some good wins. Arguably number one in the division. However, Fundora definitely got some pussy in him. He definitely got some pussy in him. Giving up titles to not fight guys and them putting all these different obstacles, saying that it has to be on PBC for them to fight, and all these different stipulations like rehydration clauses on a fucking 6'7" super welterweight and all of that. Like all of that, that's not a coincidence, bro. They fear something. Almost reminds me of like Nick Ball and shit. Once Nick Ball got the world title, he started acting real funny and selective with his opponents. Fundora gives me the same type vibes. But Boots will pack Fundora. Absolutely. Absolutely. Boots ain't got no short reach. You step in Boots, territory, you try to get some shit up, you gonna run into some shit too. And that body attack gonna be brutal. So Brian Mendoza sparked Fundora, and niggas just forgot about that. Yeah, he's got better since then, but niggas just forgot about that. Act like it can't happen again. Like, okay, bro, you can believe in Fundora if you want. Fundora never seen that speed. That's a fact. He never seen that elusiveness. He never seen that athleticism. He might have not ever seen that power, to be honest with you. Probably saw that power of Mendoza. But the overall package that Boots brings to the table, he never seen that. But to be fair, Boots, I highly doubt Boots ever fought a 6'6", 6'7" nigga. That's rangy and got some good power and is learning to fight at long range. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, Zoo was getting off on Fundora. I remember that. The Boots and Fundora fight, we're gonna have to talk. And I'll gladly take your money again, Justin. So looking forward to having that conversation with you, brother. Because like Justin's learning, because you gotta understand when Justin started coming into the chat, he ain't really know boxing too much. He was learning. And he's, of course, we all still learning. But he still got a little bit of casual in him. So like he one of them dudes that really, really fall victim to recency bias and all that. And that's normal. Sometimes it's gotten me too. But he think because Fundora looked good against these last couple dudes that's just going to translate to the Boots fight. It's not what it is. Boots going to have a recipe for that boy. Shit going to be bad. But we got any last questions before we get up out of here, man? Shout out to the 39 people that's in the building. Thank you very much for tuning in to Mazuma TV. Please feel free to follow me on all social media platforms. Follow me on IG at mark.mazuma. Follow me on my other IG page if you want to get an insight on my coaching abilities at Coach Mazuma. You know what I mean? Hit the Cash App at, what Dr. Umar say? Hit the Cash App. Hit the Cash App. $ Mark Mazuma all together if you want to show love to the channel. You know what I'm saying? We also on Twitter as well at Mazuma TV. Is it Mazuma TV? Let me get that right. Let me get that right. Yeah, it's at Mazuma TV. I mean, follow me on Twitter as well. I don't really post that often, but I may pop up here and there to go check somebody. You feel me? I be talking that talk. Trick said, "Am I going live for the band fight?" Somebody already had asked me that. You wasn't here, so I'm gonna answer it. Possibly. I got to see exactly how my day goes tomorrow with my son. I wasn't able to do anything with him today because he had a little bit too much fun prior to me picking him up. So wanted to fall back with him and start fresh tomorrow. So we definitely gonna be out and about. Still got to figure out exactly where we're going, but we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a good time, and like I said, my son's usually in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock. So we'll see. We'll see for sure. But I just stay tuned. Stay tuned to the channel. And if I happen to go live for the fight, then I'll leave an announcement on the channel for y'all to see. Does Boots have his fight outfit ready yet? I don't know. How the hell would I know? The wrong person to ask that to. 93 Octane in the building. He said Boots fans are putting a lot of pressure on him to pull off a spectacular victory. Don't let it go 12. Well, I mean, he's putting pressure on himself as well by saying that this fight's not going to go the distance. Bozy said the fight not going to go the distance. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I mean? That maybe that's just how the way he's wired. Maybe maybe that's not pressure to him. Maybe that's not pressure to him. Maybe he feels like he's genuinely going to do that. And if he's not capable of doing so, I'm sure that he'll settle for the victory. He'll settle. He'll be okay with just getting the victory, going to the card. So we'll see. I'm gonna get up off of this live, y'all. I appreciate everybody that came through and show love as always. We have to go ahead and hit the like button on the way out. Be on the lookout for my next live. I may possibly go live for the Bam Rodriguez versus Antonio Vargas fight. You know what I mean? Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you guys very much. I'll be back at y'all very soon. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob. We in the building for sure. Much love. Shout out to everybody that wished my son a happy birthday. I appreciate that very much. You know what I'm saying? Until then, I'll holler at y'all, man. Peace.